Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Fourth and Neat. Fred Minnick here, joined with Pro Football Hall of Famer and all-around great guy, Jared Allen. What's up, my man?
What's up, buddy? Little something different. Get to see those pearly blue eyes of yours.
I know,
today.
right? Look at these. Woo!
Ooh.
I got my eyeballs. My eyes are feeling really good.
Good.
And I've been back on the mat now for 3 consecutive weeks. So I feel like there's a direct correlation of getting choked and my eyes feeling better.
Yeah. Usually how that works is it forces a lot of blood pressure to your eyes.
You definitely feel the blood pressure as you're getting choked.
Do. And, I decided to professional it up a little bit, get a little more professional with some headphones.
I know.
Although it's a little weird now because I'm used to hearing myself talk. Like now it's a little muted.
Oh,
muted.
So you're used to hearing yourself talk on the headphones?
No, like just in person, right? Like the echo of my room.
Well, those are noise canceling headphones.
They are.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they're good or not, but they.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of studies that came out that said those things are bad for your brain. So just.
Well, that's why I try not to do Bluetooth. Hardwired, bro. Hardwired.
That's right.
So.
Well, speaking of, that Bluetooth thing has been kind of like dubbed into the conspiracy world a little bit.
So it's like Wi-Fi. I cut my Wi-Fi off every night at midnight.
Yep. So we had the episodes of episodes last week for conspiracy theories, right? We had the Montauk Project survivor, Stuart Swerdlow, on the show. And boy, did we get a lot of feedback.
Yeah, I gotta hear the comments and see these things because I can only imagine because I know what was going through my head, so I can only imagine what like people might have been thinking for us, pretty much forcing it into their head.
Well, yes, that's exactly right. That's a good way to put it. One funny one. I got accused of being an insectoid.
That's my favorite one. I'm not 100% sure that's a false statement.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, so. Because I've been wearing these glasses, right? Because of my eyes, and they're like, bro, you're an insectoid. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
You should just roll with that. You should just roll with it. Be like, yep, maybe I am.
Maybe I am, but then again, Jared, if you say something like that out there, you could get just randomly stabbed by someone in this world.
Yeah.
So.
People are crazy. People literally are crazy. So here's my suggestion: don't be crazy. Okay. Let's just be normal. Let's just have some fun with it. Let's laugh. The world needs more laughter.
All right. So here's a comment on YouTube, and this will be a good one for you. And it comes from at Christine. It's a YouTube comment, so it's public and we can read it.
Okay.
It says, kind of feel like if faith is trusting in something you can't see, then why can't time travel be the same?
That's an absolute great question.
Yeah.
And that's why we had Dr. Swerdlow on.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I've not physically time traveled that I know of. I mean, are dreams time traveling?
Maybe, but also I'd say
question,
you put a lot of quarterbacks in time travel, back in your time.
Altered state of mental status. That's a great comment. Yes, I don't know. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm just saying I feel like if it did, someone would let the cat out of the bag. You know what I mean? You can't keep things secret forever.
Yeah.
It's just impossible. And they're just, especially in today's day and age. So,
okay.
Again, I don't feel like we got an actual answer on it, to be honest with you. I didn't come to a definite conclusion one way or the other. And that was the point of having Dr. Swerdlow on, was to just fill your brain with the possibilities of what if, of the what could be.
Right. Well, our next comment, I don't think it'll hurt your feelings. I don't think you have these kinds of feelings, but or if it'll make you mad. But it's kind of along the lines of me being an insectoid.
Okay.
It says this is from Jack Gottlieb, who writes us on YouTube, again, public. Jared needs to shut his mouth and listen. He completely overstepped the guest and expressed his options or opinions. I think he let the guest talk. I'm like, I don't feel like you. I mean, you asked a lot of questions and you were curious. I don't feel like you stepped on them.
Hey, you know what? My response to him is, if he doesn't like the format of the show or how it flows, just don't watch. Free
There
world,
you
right?
go.
Freedom of speech there, pal. No, I do need to listen more. That's actually a great deal. I get excited and I have a lot to say, and so I throw it in there. And I was trying to keep us. Yeah, we still never got the actual. We didn't even get into the depths of the Montauk like we wanted to. It went down so many different pathways. I still didn't even get my answer to Draco. I had a lot of questions about him. What kind of alien is Draco? But anyways,
that is
appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, that was one where I didn't feel like you overstepped. I think you were just super curious, but I will say I got a lot of private messages from people too about tinfoil hats, and this is one from a member in my Club Marzipan Whiskey group, Alan Channel. He writes, I thought you and Jared had beaten the disclaimer drum enough, but holy moly, I see why you two really emphasized it. I'm still watching it, have no words to describe it, but got to hear it all. Not enough whiskey in my house to prepare for this one.
Yeah, you know what? Again, it's everybody's point of view, right? Some people are into it. Some people are like, yeah, man, this is right on. Shut up, let the man speak. Other people are like, speak less, everybody. Things are getting weird.
And then we've got IVK who wrote me, said, should have named this episode Ancient Aliens Meets Black Mirror. Absolutely riveting. Can't wait for part 2.
Yeah, that's a great description of it, So I do want to jump into some things that, again, I was trying not to overstep, and I didn't want to, turn it into a debate, right? That was not the point of having Dr. Schwerlow on. I wanted him to, give us his information and let people discern what they are going to discern. But with that said, Jesus, in my personal opinion, and all the research I've done, was not a twin. There's no historical fact that he was a twin.
Yeah.
In fact, where the information was actually correct, Jesus never had a brother named Thomas. So Thomas was, in fact, the Apostle Thomas, also known as Doubting Thomas, who, yes, there's a lot of evidence that he was a twin. Thomas does mean twin, and that he potentially was a twin. I believe he had so Jesus's brothers were James, Joses, Joses, Simon, and Judas, and he had at least 2 unnamed sisters, but no record of Jesus ever being a twin and or a brother named Thomas.
And that's where the interview kind of lost me.
Yeah,
and
again, it's going to be based on what everybody's belief system is, right?
And I think too, when you are, you're a man of faith. I'm a man of faith. I'm not very open about it. I don't talk about it much, but I would hope that my actions in helping people and trying to be a good, father and husband, would be kind of like the quiet, open signs of who I am. And I think if you come from faith and you have these principles around you, it's a lot harder to jump into some of those theories. But here's the thing, it's kind of like the YouTube commenter said, if we believe in faith, why not time travel? So I think I was open to the time travel part.
Yeah.
I was less open to the aliens, but I was listening to it, but I just completely shut off when he said Jesus had a twin. And I think maybe, I don't know if that says more about me, I think it probably says more about me and like what I believe and how I'm probably at that point where there's not new beliefs coming in, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think what Dr. Schwerlow did, he sparks curiosity, right? I was curious, and there were certain things like when he talked about the where the Vatican was built, right? When he was talking about the Etruscans, right? That's a real deal. That's a real historical fact. Now, if you go down the rabbit hole and you learn about it, I think the Etruscans might have been slightly in the region, but not necessarily on the hill. But Vaticana or whatever was definitely probably didn't pronounce that right. What was an Etruscan god? But Vatican Hill. The reason the Vatican was built where it was at was that's where the Apostle Paul was crucified, and they built Paul and Peter, sorry. And it was Peter crucified there, not Paul. Paul was beheaded. I'm not 100% sure. Probably in Rome though too.
And poor Paul.
But so that's the cool part about history. That's why I love history, right? Depending on your viewpoint, someone's history could totally differ. So the Vatican, claims that they built it on Vatican Hill because that's where, St. Peter was buried, and they built this city. And then there's all the political stuff from Rome when Vatican became its own city, yada, yada, yada. Versus the Catholic Church with the Pope and the political implications. And, Vatican actually, I believe, is considered one of the smallest countries, right? It's you go down this rabbit hole and you're learning because you're like, the Etruscans, that sounds goofy. And then you Google it and you're like, oh, the Etruscans were real people. And then you start Googling this, and then you go down to YouTube and you can see videos about people saying the same thing. And then you got the counterpoint where you got theologians talking about, yes, they were there, but however many years BC, this, that, and, just from traveling alone, I've been through, you go through Africa, like especially Egypt. Take Egypt, for example. Depending on who was running that country at the time, like when the Muslims ran it, they erased everything Christian, right? And you can walk through buildings and old churches in Egypt now, and you can see the different where the walls are peeling back, right? Where the Christians had their, plastered walls with their artifacts and drawings on there, and the Muslims come in and they cover completely over. And as time peels back those layers, you see that when people take over, they try to destroy the absolute existence of the other culture, right?
Yeah.
And so it's hard to base like, this is built at this time because of these people. Is there crossover? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could go into the Christian, you go into Christianity in general. I mean, not that this is supposed to be a faith show, but I mean, there was a lot of negotiations and bargains when, even in the, 14th, 15th century when the Vikings, when the Christianity was taking over the pagan world, you make some concessions. Okay, you want to be called Sunday, okay, whatever, I think so. I think that's history, depending on the view or the lens you view it through, might have different meaning for other people. But like I said, it does spark curiosity. It makes you go do some Googling, do some researching.
Yeah. And I will say stuff. Too. Dr. Swirlo was a very good guest. He was
amazing.
He was gracious with his time, and he had fun.
Smart.
I think very.
Dude is clearly smart, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's like I'll go back to that comment about time travel. If you believe in faith, why can't you believe in time travel? 100% agree. 100% agree. And he believes in it. He's had a personal experience with it, according to him, right? And so I don't knock it. Like I said, do I 100% believe everything the way he interprets things? No, not at all, because I have my own structure of belief system, right? It's my own. I interpret things a certain way. You interpret things a certain way, and but that's the fun part about conversations, and that's the fun part about actually, taking time and listening to people, and not necessarily, just getting into a vicious back and forth to try to prove your point, right? Just listen and then go do some research and make a decision one way or the other. And clearly, I need to listen more. Clearly, I need to listen more.
And we also plan our curiosity with all this is not over. We're planning to get someone from high up on the Catholic Church on the show. So stay tuned for more of this wacky kind of conspiracy side of things. Now to a little bit something a little bit more serious, which is very sad. And that is the passing of New York Jets great Nick Mangold. And, I know you played against him, weren't close or anything, but it's always got it's always sad to see someone pass away so young.
Absolutely. I think it's just a constant reminder that, just because we played a sport for a living and you might be, more visible than other people, athletes, celebrities, you name it. Everybody has issues, right? Everybody's got, they got real life deals. And Nick was struggling with the kidney disease, like that from everything I've read. Like I said, I played against him.
He was born with a degenerative chronic kidney disease, and it was like congenitive. So he was born with it, and he came out in 2006, if I recall, telling the league about it. And I remember when that happened, because he was the best center in the game at that point.
Oh, yeah, heck of a player. I mean, heck of a player.
Yeah, I mean, he was great. And I remember that coming out and just thinking, oh, man, that's horrible. I bet he has to, go about things a little differly. And
yeah,
then just a couple weeks ago, they're like requesting like a kidney transplant.
That's what I was about to say. That's what shocked me. When he came out on Instagram and was asking basically the fans if anybody was compatible, but you think in like today's modern medicine, everything. They're going to be on dialysis or they're going to figure it out, right? But again, it just shows how human everybody is, and I feel terrible for his wife, and I believe he had a young daughter. I don't know how many kids he had. I feel terrible for his family. Like you said, when anybody's lost that young, and just everything I know about him through other people, a solid dude, right? Just a good person. So it sucks when the world loses a good person too soon, but definitely my heart goes out to his family because that's something tough no one wants to deal with.
Yeah, rest in peace. Rest in peace, brother. So in the wrestling world, there was a high school kid who just won Worlds and in under 23. His name is Jax Forrest.
What weight class?
And he's going to be a senior in high school this year. So like he just became a world champion, and he also took 5th at the senior level with the next level after U23s. This kid is a phenom. His name is Jax Forrest. He's out of Pennsylvania. He goes to a school called Bishop McCourt, and he committed to Oklahoma State, of course. Go Pokes. And he is an absolute phenom. I know I'm getting you slowly into the sport of wrestling, but this is a kid you got to watch out for.
Why would you even go to college? You won the Worlds already. I'm good. I just skip. That's like skipping a grade for me. It's like if I ace my PSAT in like 8th grade, I'm just gonna go take my SAT and not do high school. I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the point? I'm not. He already won world championships in U23. Like, I'll just keep doing that. I'll keep training, and then I took 5th in seniors. Okay, so I got 4 more spots I got to jump up. I got 5 spots I got to jump up.
But there's only one style of wrestling that will pack the house with like 20,000 people in like 4 consecutive days, and that's college wrestling.
Yes.
There is the American style of wrestling is folk style, which is not the international styles, which are freestyle and Greco. And folk style has, there are legions of folk style fans from Penn State, Iowa, Oklahoma State. I'm even wearing a George Mason.
Okay.
They've got a really good wrestling team. I support Bellarmine out here in Louisville. There's all these small schools that have shots at these bigger.
Well, because you only need a couple of kids, right? You need a couple of kids that are going to just be beasts. I mean, that's the fun part about an individual sport like wrestling, that you throw into a team environment, right? 1 or 2 guys can carry you quite a distance.
And so there's that challenge of like, could he be a 4-time national champion in college? That's to answer your question of like why even go to college and play. That's the big goal for, I would say, the majority of American wrestlers. Most of them want to maybe do Olympics, but they all want to be D1, All-American, or national champions.
Okay, well, you know what? Go get it. I mean, you're already a world champion. I feel like NCAA champion just is a step down. That's just, you know what? Hey, I don't know. One's localized, one's on the world stage. That's just me. I'd be like, I'm good. I'm just going to keep winning world championships. I'll throw an Olympic championship in there. At 7, so he's roughly probably 17, right?
Yeah, 17, 18. Yeah.
17 years old. He's a junior in high school. First of all, I mean, I'd probably quit high school too.
He's a senior now.
Oh, he's a senior now. Okay.
I think now he's a senior. Yeah.
All right. Well, so he's going to see that one through. He's going to see that year. But I mean, he's probably, do they even have like a letter for that? Where do you put world champion wrestler on your high school Letterman jacket? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you make up your own? I would.
It's called a Corvette.
It's called doing whatever he wants to do.
It's like
say
walking in. Hello, ladies. What's going on?
What weight class was he in?
So I think it was 61 kilos.
So that's at like 123 pounds or something like that?
Yeah, he's in that 120. Let me just Google that to make sure. But we just interviewed for my other podcast we just interviewed his dad, and he was talking about like, yeah, it was 61 kilos.
Okay.
So he was talking about like how Jax came to be, and the show's called Pin It Forward. That's where, we talk to wrestling dads and, talk about how to grow kids into being good wrestlers. And it's all about mindset. And this kid wanted to win from day one. Like, that's all he cared about was winning. And stylistically too, he's so different.
Okay.
He's got a funkiness to him, but he's also just high energy, and he looks like he plays a little possum in a moment, and then he strikes like a cobra. It's amazing.
Oh, okay. So like a little Ollie, and then he hits you with a Tyson, a little Ollie Tyson mix. Okay. How do you play possum in wrestling? Don't touch me. And then
you kind of look like you're gassed.
Shoot a high crotch.
Yeah. Well, you look like you're gassed, like you don't want to be on the floor.
Okay.
And sometimes he has that appearance, and then when he does that, it's like he strikes. It's incredible. Like, I love watching him wrestle.
So you think that now that you know about that, people know about that, like people should be prepared for that then?
Well, it's one of those things, you think you're prepared.
Out. Bite me once, Cobra. That's on me. On you. Bite me twice. That's on me.
Yeah, I don't know. And there's people also probably listening, like, what the hell are you talking about, Fred? He's like always going. But no, I think he plays a little possum here and there.
Again, it's all subjective. That's the fun part about opinions.
That's it.
You know what? We all have them. Not everybody should. That is true. We probably shouldn't have opinions because, I'll be honest, we talk about really nothing, but it's awesome.
I want to get your opinion on the Tush Push because
it's illegal. It's the dumbest thing in football. But if you're not going to stop it, stop it. So here's how you stop it. And I was on Kay Adams yesterday. Here's exactly how you stop it. You let your safety torpedo head down to the chin of the quarterback, and guess what? You're probably going to get fined. You're probably going to get kicked out of the game, but that quarterback is probably going to have a concussion, and there's no more Tush Push. There's no more. It's over. It's done.
Well,
Benito. It's the same thing when they were running that read option with Robert Griffin and Kaepernick and all that. And they were carrying out the fakes, and the league said, if you're going to pretend to run with the ball, you get treated as a running back. And we started hitting the living crap out of them. Robert Griffin's career got, sidetracked because of injuries. I mean, and I say that not at all making light of hurting people or injuries. The point is, if there is a direct consequence to your best player, that or the player that, your quarterback is probably one of your most important players, that situation stops, right? It's no more. It's the same way. So quarterbacks used to be live game. If they were chasing after they threw an interception, if they were pursuing into a tackle, you could light them up. Quarterbacks stopped pursuing, right? Because of that. And so, I mean, there's got to be a direct consequence to it but the reality is it's illegal. So I'm not sure if you watched the Niners game, Sunday Night Football game about 2 weeks ago. I can't remember who they were playing, but McCaffrey got pulled into the end zone, and the guy on TV, the ref said, that should have been illegal. You can't assist anybody moving, right?
Right.
Well, what's the difference if you're pulling or pushing? So you're assisting. We used to be able to push D linemen through to block field goals. You can no longer do that because that fell under the same rule. So the reality is you got forward momentum, and then they want to call forward progress. So that was a complete fumble the other day. Mm-hmm. When did his forward progress stop? So now it's subjective when the ref decides forward progress stops, which is already BS because
you're referencing the fumble that Hurts had against the Giants.
Exactly. And so so for example, we contact a player, we drive them backwards, they get forward progress. So they did everything they could to stop the play, and then he's still moving forward. They're pushing. So again, it's like if he has to push to move the pile, forward progress should have already been called, right? You're not supposed to be able to assist anybody moving forward. That's supposed to be called. And then the reality is like you can't. How is the ref going to be subjective about that when he's still moving forward and he's stretching and reaching the ball and he's not down? Like would they have called that a touchdown? If he was reaching over the goal line, they would have called that a touchdown. But because he fumbles it, forward progress. You see, there's no clarity in how they're going to enforce it. So they should just get rid of it. And if they're not,
then you've got like the referees flagging people after the game because players are jawing them. And I think Greenlaw got suspended from from the Broncos. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you can't. The refs, you cannot say anything bad to or from the ref. I mean,
but you're retired now, so let it rip.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but to address a game, that's the other thing. It's like, what's the end result? Like, you're not going to address it. You're going to go talk trash to the ref after the game. He's not changing the call. It's not gonna make, it's not gonna change the outcome of a game or anything. All
so find a way to check your emotions instead.
Yeah,
of
because you're gonna play another game with that guy, and I guarantee you he's gonna hold a grudge. And you're not gonna get the call you want, so you're better off killing with kindness. But the league's got to look at it. I think I would think there's probably enough going on around the tush push that they'll probably eventually get rid of it. But again,
one nice update to refereeing is that there has been it seems like there's been a change to the toe tapping that Mahomes does right on the sidelines. I've seen him get pancaked a couple times.
Yeah.
So
should. You should run through them. That's the other thing. Because now you want guys to pull up, and then all of a sudden they sneak in some extra yards. Quarterbacks knows that. You know what? Go hit them. That's why I'm saying if the players take it into their own hands, just come over the top of that pile. You know the tush push is coming. Someone's got to go high, and hey, try not to hit him with your helmet. Try not to spear him. But I'd be trying to take his head up. I'd be like, all right, guys, just time it. If you mess it, oh well. If they get a half a yard, big deal.
So what about the Vikings? We've got some problems with the Vikings. We've got
brother. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's Carson's out. Wentz is out now. So JJ's back, and I still think our O line is still not crushing. But part of it is I think we got to run the ball more on offense. I love all the coaches there. Kevin, the whole staff, Flo on the defensive side. They're great people, great coaches. And so it's like not second guessing them, but if the best way to shore up your offensive line is let them move forward. If you got injuries, move them forward. That's all you got to do. Move them forward, and then throw the ball to Hawk. Come on.
Yeah.
TJ the Rock.
He's looked good when he gets the ball.
Yeah, I mean, even though you got JJ, the tight end is the most underutilized position. I mean, you look at it again. I mean, look at how good the Chiefs look when they give the tight ends, 5 to 10 plus targets. I mean, it just you move the ball. Those are mismatches on linebackers, and you got to take advantage of it. We don't have an easy task, and we got Detroit this week. Defensively, we're not really getting to the quarterback right now. Hey, I'm here. If anybody's listening, I'm here. Reach out. I'll help you out. So, but I watched a little bit of that game against the Chargers, and it's like we're not using our hands properly. So it's all small, minute things that change it, right? And then it's just kind of once you get into those lulls and you get into these situations where you're not having the big turnover impact right now. We're not sacking the quarterback at the rate they usually were. But you're right there in games. The only game they've really got their butts kicked was against the Chargers. So they'll get it right. They'll we got some injuries out there too. Van Ginkel, I'm not sure when he's coming back, but he's a massive impact player on that team. So hopefully they can pull it together. The division looks crazy right now, and Green Bay looks insane. Detroit looks insane. The Bears,
they're the Bears.
They're young, but they won 4 in a row. So really, really, they'll get it together. We got too many good pieces not to get it together. And guess what? If you don't, the pieces change and you try it again next year. That's been the story of being a Vikings fan and player. So close. And then we try it again next year.
Well, we got our special guest on, Tuf Cooper. He's your buddy. Tell me about him.
Actually, you know what? So I met Tuf through another friend. And so he reached out and was like, hey, put us on a text thread together. And he's like, hey, you should have Tuf on your podcast. And I was like, yeah, how do I get in touch with him? And he just put me in touch with him. And I was like, hey, Tuf, seeing how you're like a 4-time world champion, and that's all we do is put world champions on our podcast, is you should probably come on. So Tuf Cooper here, again, just a stud rodeo cowboy. I believe, was it 3 or 4-time world champion calf roper, and then the all-around is right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, 3 calf roping, 1 all around.
Yeah.
Jared, Fred, thank y'all guys for having me. What's going on?
Oh, it's our pleasure. Our pleasure. Yeah. So We'll let you know on our podcast. We tend to get down rabbit holes about random stuff. So
very random.
Our last one was about time travel and aliens, and we had a whole episode about it. We got weird, and so we had to spend the first couple of minutes here digesting that and getting comments back from the viewers. So, but now we want to talk about rodeoing, calf roping, cowboying, and by the way, you have like one of the craziest lineages of like just world champion families. You and the Yates family, the Coopers and the Yates are like you guys are fighting each other.
Are you related? Are you related to Gary Cooper?
No, sir. Is that the actor? Who's that?
Oh, I think Gary Cooper was a bull rider from back in the day.
No, yeah, probably, but not aware of any relation. Yeah, so it sounds like I landed on the right podcast. We go down some cool rabbit holes.
Gary Lamont Cooper in 1956. He was the Rocky Mountain Rodeo Association bull riding champion. He was also the RMRA bareback riding champion 3 times during the 60s and 70s. He passed away 2007 from,
It could be a distant cousin or something.
Distant cousin, keeping it in the winning ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So, Tuf, tell me, how'd you get involved in rodeoing and calf roping to be,
Yeah, so
I know your family heritage, but yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir. When I realized at a young age, this is probably the best opportunity I'm going to have to, do what I love to do. I'm so grateful to, been in this industry and with all the passion and just everything that the cowboy hat that the Western world represents. I am beyond blessed to have grown up in it, and I fell in love with it at a young age. One, because I started winning money when I was 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. And that's what I decided I wanted to do. When I was 16, I talked my dad into homeschooling me, and the homeschooling was practice sessions all day long. And I was set young goals at a young age, and I was the youngest at 18 years old to ever qualify for the national finals in my event. So that was a lot of great success at a young age, but I was surrounded by champions. I was surrounded by my 2 brothers, my dad, 8-time world champion, my brother-in-law, 26-time world champion, uncle world champion. It was just from both sides of the family tree.
I was about to ask you that, though, about your brother-in-law. How do you let your sister marry Trevor Brazil when you're a calf roper? Like, you automatically like, oh, crap, competition just got real.
It was, and competing against him, but not just that, of him, showing me how to win world titles, how to be a champion, how to go after and just not just do the calf rope and go do multiple events so you can have a chance at the all around, which is in my opinion, the most prestigious award that you can win throughout the season.
Absolutely. And how do they judge the all around? So, are you competing in the all around all year? Well, is it only in the finals? And then what are the events that go into the all around?
It is. You have to do more than one event. So you got to do 2 events. You have to win at least $3,000 in another event to qualify you for the all around. And 3,000 alone is not going to cut it with some of these guys doing multiple events. But as we are, and I won the all around 2017. There's still just a few guys that do two or more events that are really good at it, and so you got to win the most money throughout the whole season and the NFR combined to be your all-around world champion. And nowadays that's like, 6, 7, 800,000.
Wow. And so what are the top events most guys do? Obviously calf roping, a lot of team roping.
Calf roping, team roping. There's been a lot of bulldoggers that have won it. There's right now there's a guy named Stetson Wright that does bull riding and saddle bronc riding. And so it's kind of cool to see, which end of the arena is going to get the all-around championship each year.
Does your name quality go into it? Because Stetson versus Tuf, that's going to be something I'm thinking about when I casting my vote there.
Right. We definitely stay in the tradition with the Western names.
I love it. Names. If I had a son, that's what I was going to name him, Stetson Ray. That's my grandfather. Well, it's literally amazing. So I got to ask, because I'm good friends with the Yates family.
Yes, sir.
You obviously know the Yates family. You'll probably be. Did you qualify for the NFR this year?
You know what? I did not this year. I ended up 18th, first time to never qualify for the national finals.
I was gonna say, you see Trey out there.
Seasons. Yeah, Trey, I'm so excited for him. I love him. He's one of the best team ropers that are going. So his grandpa Dick and my dad and my grandpa actually were great friends. My Dick, it really influenced my dad throughout his career, and he gives a lot of credit to his wisdom that he passed along.
Dick is one of the greatest, and it's like, look at it, it's no joke. It's like every time I'm there to go visit them, because I send my horses out there during the summer, right?
Nice.
And so I'll usually go into September, first part of October, go pick them up. And I'll text my wife. I'm like, it's like I'm like literally watching an old Western. He comes out head to toe denim, cowboy hat, almost 90 years old, smoking a cigar, yeah, it is like so iconic Western. I'm like, this is the greatest dude ever.
That is a cowboy right there. That's the definition of a cowboy.
And then he drops wisdom on you.
Right?
He's like, Jared, you're really, really good. You got a good swing until you narrow it up. He's like, you ain't calf roping anymore. You got to get that arm out there and cover them horns.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's all you can say is yes, sir.
Right, exactly. So speaking of calf roping, I'm so intrigued. Did you grow up calf roping?
I grew up on a reining cutting horse ranch. So my dad trained reining cutting horses for 35, 40 years.
Yes, sir.
Then but one of his friends was a calf roper, right? Okay. And so he taught me how to calf rope. I used to wear out a bale of hay,
Yes, sir.
When I was younger, and then I did some breakaway roping, and we would run down and tie down calves off, when they were stuck on a pole. I don't even know what you guys call that, but yeah, he's like, we're gonna do some tie downs today. You're like, okay. Sir. And so when I got into the league, we were trying to come up with celebrations, ideas. And my buddy was like, man, you used to calf rope as a kid. You used to love calf rope. You should do it, tying them up, stopping the clock on quarterback. So that's how the celebration came about. But yeah, that was my background from roping was, like I said, my dad was a, again, reining cutting horse trainer. And I showed Western pleasure and reining, that kind of stuff. But my dad's buddy was a roper. So he taught me how to rope. And then as I got older, I was like, probably not going to be running down, tying calves down anymore. So I had some buddies out in Arizona that were team roping. And so, just started team roping. I'm like, I actually don't have to get off the horse. This is pretty awesome. But I have not tied down a calf in many minutes. It's probably been 20 plus years. So
you can still do it. You can still do it.
Yeah, I'd figure it out. Well, I just wouldn't want to mess up the cross. You know what I mean? You get the wrong foot on top, it's a whole mess then, and your hand's stuck in the loop. You're all messed up.
So I rode bulls and broncs and bareback in high school, and that's where I ruined my shoulder. But man, I was always like, I'd be around the ropers, and all the girls would go over to the roping trailers, and I felt like all the bull riders were like just all injured. Half of them could read. I was just like, why didn't I learn how to rope? All the barrel racers are going over there. They're not coming over here to us.
They realized who was smarter. Like, bad life choices over there.
Well, I think it was the trailers. They're like, oh, they've got money. This guy's in a Pinto.
Could be.
Yeah. The trailer. Let's talk about that. These rigs are getting expensive.
What? Home on wheels? Yes, sir.
My
cost more than my house.
And I'm like, that's a 50-foot trailer that only holds 3 horses. What is going on? What is going on right now? They need to figure that out. They need to condense that a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I travel in an RV and with a bumper pull behind, and get to take my family with me. So, and we're literally on the road at least 6 months out of the year, which it's a great time. You get a little tired by the end of it, but there's has been a wonderful way for me to grow up, and a wonderful way to keep the family just right there with you 24/7. And
that's the tough part, right? Is
it is.
When you have a family life and stuff like that. I mean, we didn't travel as much as you guys did, but you're between that work-life balance is tough. So being able to take your kids with you is always a blessing, and have a supportive wife for sure. So talk to us about the progression of calf roping. So I remember I can still remember the days, roping. I think when I first started learning to calf rope, the waving of the slack just became a thing, right? I was watching some of your videos now, and it seems like now you guys have to almost guide your slack, right?
Yes, sir.
So how does that work? Because obviously, animal safety is at the top of the list. I think that's one thing people don't realize with with hunters, cowboys, everything. We're actually big conservationists at the heart of it as well. So talk about the progression of the sport and how, I don't think, if anybody doesn't know calf rope, you have to ride a horse at top speed, you have to rope a calf, you have to control where you're throwing your slack, and then you have to dismount and trust your horse is going to stop and get down the line and tie this thing up, and it's still 6 seconds they have to stay tied up for?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So please, talk about the evolution of the sport and how you've had to adapt over these years.
So the evolution seems to be, the time's getting shorter and shorter, and that's because our arenas that we're competing in become smaller and smaller. Like we're competing on a lot of basketball fields now, a few football stadiums, a few baseball fields, and then all the traditional arenas like Cheyenne.
Yeah.
So depending on the setup of the arena is going to be where your times come in. But in the 40s, 50s, 60s, they would get off the left, duck under the rope, and then go down there. And then my dad, actually, when he came along in the 70s and the 80s, he was the first one to start holding his slack and really guiding and placing and controlling those runs and controlling where the calf is on the end of the rope. And he became the master at it. I came along in 2008, was my rookie year, and I started using two hands. I call it the double barrel. And it had been done a few times, but I started doing it nearly every time, which does not help your horse out at all, but it allows you to literally get slingshotted down there and make your times faster. And
when you say two hands, you're talking about two hands on top of the horse's neck, right?
No, sir.
On your slack.
When you rope them, when you're holding your slack, instead of just one hand, I didn't know what to do with this left one, so I just put it on the rope, and then it would just launch me. Like I was holding my slack with one hand. And that was
I saw one picture. I started not there, but I saw one picture where you literally where you were stepping off. And I think I don't know if it was your reins in your left hand, so it was the rope, because I saw you up on top of almost by the horse's pole.
Yeah,
you were way up on the neck. The horse that white horse of yours looks like a stud.
Oh man.
And so I was curious. I was like, is he guy? That's where the whole question came from. I didn't understand what you were doing with that left hand, so that makes sense.
Yes, sir. Fundamentally, you want to be back there holding the saddle horn and helping that horse all the way to the bottom of his stop before you get off. But with the times being 6, 7 seconds, then I'm looking to get down there and get in the mix as soon as possible. Kind of like you getting off the line. I don't know how you got off the line so quick, but we're looking for ways to just revolutionize the sport. The kids nowadays, I think they're going to tie a calf in 5 seconds here pretty soon. 6.3 seconds is the fastest time recorded so far.
Wow.
And we should.
So do you do a lot of cross training too then? Are you doing a lot of obviously sprint,
Yes,
sprint
sir.
training? You're training like a real you're training like an athlete. You guys are athletes. But everybody views the horse as the athlete, or, that rodeo lifestyle. But really, to get in the 6 seconds from from barrier to tie down, you've got to be cooking.
Oh, yes, sir. I keep my weights right there in the arena. As soon as I get done with my practice session, I go straight to them, got my big tire, flipping it, do some power cleans. As I'm getting older, looking more into the stretch and side of things, and a lot of sprints. I'll put my string in my mouth just to try to keep it as realistic as possible. Typically, exercise just in my boots and hat and everything. So just try to make it as realistic as I possibly can, because that's how I'm going to be training, competing.
I'm curious too, like you talk about the evolution of the human side of it. Has there been an evolution of the horses in roping?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Rope horses typically they would come off the ranch, and nowadays we have specific breedings. We're looking into the reining horses are really good. The cow horses are great. The cutters, they're pretty good, but they're a little too side to side when we're trying to just go straight forward and back. So the reiners work out a lot for that. And the horse prices, that whole market has grown tremendously in the past few years. I don't know if we want to
tell me about it.
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
Isn't that crazy?
My goodness. So it's great. Yeah, my dad used to ride with a lot of those guys, Bobby Avila and all those guys from Yellowstone.
Nice.
When they were doing those reining training, those that was
Yes,
the group.
sir.
Yeah, my dad used to run around with. And I think what you're saying too is correct. I think a lot of, unless you know what you're looking at, you won't understand. Rope horses, Fred, used to be some of the hardest stoppers in the world. They would jam all four. You can't see my hands, but they would jam all four legs. Just those front legs would just dig into the dirt. And where reining training comes in, reiners, they walk up front, right? So when you do your sliding stops with reining, you actually want them breaking and they're walking up front. And you see that now with rope horses, right?
Yes,
you see them. I mean, the depths of those stops are insane. And so now you see that evolution of rope horses. Talk about the setup too, because now do you guys because I know the setup of, team roping, you're just dallying to your horn, right?
Yes, sir.
So with calf roping, because you guys are leaving and your horse you basically is going to stop and then drag the calf towards you. I mean, you're correct.
Yes, sir.
How does your bridle, saddle, rope set, because you guys get to tie down to the horn? Explain that setup for people so they don't understand, how you're keeping that linear structure with your horse, your rope, your calf, and your tie.
So in the calf roping, your rope is tied off hard and fast on the saddle horn. So when you ever tie off hard and fast, you got to be extremely careful as possible. And then you run your rope through a neck rope, which is around the horse's neck. So it's a saddle horn, and then it runs through the neck rope, and then maybe a keeper that's on the side of the tie down that helps that horse back up straight, and it helps just guide everything where your horse is just keeping the rope as straight as possible once you get off, because it's the only event in calf rope or in rodeo where you get off and you actually turn your back to your horse. So there has to be the right equipment, but also a tremendous amount of trust that your horse has in you, and then you have in your horse as well.
All right, Tuf. We're gonna. Jared, are you ready to get into some weird stuff?
I am. One last question. Though about on the calf stuff. So do you guys get penalized? Like if you used to see calves flipping over backwards,
yes, sir.
Right? But so do you guys get penalized if the calf is jerked or twisted in a certain way?
Nowadays, in order for the sport to have grown to where it's at now and to continue to grow, we as calf ropers are trying to police and protect our event as much as possible. And a lot of big rodeos, if the calf takes a jerk that you might be laying on Brett Favre or something, we're going to get a no time for that.
Okay. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Which he probably did a few times in practice. And
those day quarterbacks are untouchable. All right. Well, I mean, now that the world, of our world knows Tuf Cooper, now we got to get your opinions on what goes on in this world.
I love it.
That's the fun stuff.
So this is a new development. I just learned about this probably about 10 minutes before the show, and I texted Jared about it. Kelsey Grammer, the actor of Frasier, 70 years old, who is married to a 46-year-old woman named Kate Walsh. She just had his 8th child. It's his 4th with her. He's 70 years old, and he's still kicking. They're still going.
Why? Like you're like, I just feel bad for the kid. You know why? Again, he's probably a loving dad. She's probably a loving mother, but that kid the chance of him being alive at his high school graduation or her high school graduation is very slim. It was like when De Niro had one at 82 or whatever. Like, dude, that kid's lucky if he knows who his dad is. Like, come on. I feel like that's just irresponsible to the child. That's just me. And it's like if my dad just had a child. My dad's 71. If my dad had a kid, I'd go kick him in his junk. What are you doing? What the hell's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I have feared having young brothers and sisters from my father as well for a long time. You still see a lot of these old studs still producing and putting out great babies.
I love how you just took it back to the horse world. We're not capping studs off, but at some point the age gap gets weird. I'm sorry, the age gap gets weird at some point. See, I'm a dad. I'm a girl dad though, so God help that person. If my daughter ever brought home a man that was like 20, 30 years older than him, I am punching that dude in the throat. But she's 40.
Look, so his wife is 46. It's not like Bill Belichick, with the 24-year-old?
It's 20 some odd years. So he was an actor on Frasier when she was born. Like, let's look at it that way. You know,
I don't think it was that early. She's 46, so she's like our age.
Yeah. I mean, I was in it. Like, how old was I? Like 10 when Frasier was going?
I don't even know when Frasier
Me
was
neither.
going, so.
I am a Kelsey Grammer fan. Great actor.
Maybe the 80s? I don't know. Late 80s, early 90s?
Okay, so that brings the question. What is too much in an age gap? Your kid's bringing someone home. Doesn't matter if you have a son or daughter. What is that age gap like? This is too much.
Yeah, so I'm a father of a 3-year-old sweetheart myself, and I'm so grateful that there's gentlemen like you that have inspired me to, learn how to become a better dad. Thank you for that, Jared. But I think it's so important as I'm learning through this, how important it is for the father, to be there with the child as it's growing up. And you can't replace a mom, you can't replace a dad. And if we can't physically be there for them in the ways that they truly need as their human soul in order to, to thrive in this world, they're going to have to pick up that or figure it out someday on their own. And that's always a challenge that, I would prefer not to leave with my children.
Yeah, 100%. See, I mean, look, he just put it so eloquently.
I know,
he's worried about the development of the child. I'm like scarred for their emotional, just scars of their dad dying of old age. Like, and it's not even going to be traumatic. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, your dad died. The kids like, your dad died. That's so sad. Like, no, he was 87. It wasn't that sad. He was old.
Yeah.
I guess
let's remember the child, even though like born in unique circumstances, is a gift to the world.
Absolutely, 100%. And
that
again,
child still has a lot of purpose on this earth. And
I actually, wow, you would look at there. Yeah, goodness.
Yeah, there you go.
No one said there's any lack of purpose, Fred. But again, hey, hats off to him. Listen, raise your kids. That's all I want people to do. If you have kids, if you want to have kids, raise them. Be there for them.
Yes, sir.
And but again, 70 years old, he's still getting it done.
All right, Tuf. So you got a 3-year-old. This is probably going to be your first Halloween where you all can walk around into neighborhoods and go trick or treat. Is that about right?
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite Halloween candy?
Man, my favorite, I don't know. We don't really we do Christmas. That's about it. And our schedule's so crazy, we never really do it. I'm going to try to avoid it again this year.
Yes.
For Halloween. But my favorite thing on Halloween is watching the videos the next day that the parents do, that they tell their kids, hey, I ate all your candy.
Yeah.
And just watch the kids be devastated or kind or whatever it is. That's my favorite thing of Halloween.
Can we just talk about too, like how Halloween is like the antithesis of what we tell our kids not to do?
Right?
You tell them not to accept if any other day other than October 31st, a stranger tried to give your kid candy, we'd be like, whoa, bro, back up. Like, why? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And if my kid were to go knock on a random person's door and ask them for candy, I'd be like, learn some freaking manners. Like, what is wrong with you? But one day a year, we're just like, yeah, go trust strangers. Right. Go have more sugar like than the world is supposed to have in one consumption session.
Well,
oh,
I did not realize you were so anti-Halloween, Jared.
Love Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Actually, love it. I love dressing up. Absolutely love it. The candy, I mean, we buy organic candy, so there's that.
Course.
But yeah, because why put fake stuff in your body? I'm telling you,
Tough.
Body's your
Jared
temple. Body is your temple.
Yes,
Jared
sir.
is like this. If you get to know his food beliefs, his voice will be in your head when you're at the supermarket.
Perfect.
Or whenever you're like, maybe you want to go to the concession stand and have a hot dog, right? And like Jared's right there. No, Fred.
I'm just saying. Do you know what's in the dog? Do you know what's in the dog? Is it 100% all grass-fed beef? I'm just curious because I don't want to eat a rat dog. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. And that's why I think as professional athletes, we're so fortunate to, our body's the temple and what we put in it. And just we're aware of that it lines up with our goals. The better we are at that, it lines up with, more of what we enjoy doing. And Some, other industries aren't as lucky as we are, would say about that, just on awareness.
And you have it tough because, I mean, again, you're on the road, right? Trying to eat right on the road is hard. I mean, and especially in like rural America. I mean, whenever I drive up to our ranch, I get into like the main street, and there's nothing but 15 fast food restaurants in the first 2 blocks. And it's like, that's what people assume is food these days. And it's annoying because it's so convenience based, but when you're on the road, it's tough. So, we bring coolers. I'm packing food.
Yes, sir.
Or I'm fasting.
Right.
But again, I go back to like, I don't do it from vanity purposes. Obviously there's the older I get, the more I read and learn about, honoring God with what we eat and deeper into my faith. And I know that's not everybody else, but the reality is I'm terrified of disease. Like,
yes, sir.
I'm like, Lord, I can go a lot of ways.
Yes, sir.
I just don't let me have a terrible disease that my family has to be burdened by or anything like that. So I try to do the best I can so I can get around and, see my grandkids one day. Cause as professional football players, my lifespan's already shrunk.
Yes, sir. Yeah. You never want to be at dis-ease.
Oh no. But so yeah, that's why I do it, Fred.
Well,
it tastes good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, growing your own food, hunting your own food. Oh man, the taste.
I'm just trying to let you know
so
you've been a powerful influence on me, Jared, with that. And yesterday at my at jiu-jitsu, I had my guys were saying like, all right, you're back on the mat. You need to start training for competitions. And I'm like, well, it's only been like 3 weeks, that I've been back on the mat. Like, I don't think I'm ready because I have like this whole thing after I have to wear goggles and headgear now and everything. I don't even know if it's illegal.
Like the headgear that kids had to wear at night.
Yeah, I look weird. But
you should just wear that just so nobody will attack you on the mat. Just put on some old school headgear. Like, why are you wearing headgear? Like, I don't.
They would kick me in the nuts if I did that. It'd be even worse. But so our last subject, the last piece of Fourth and Neat that you've yet to be exposed to is a flavoring that is used in some forms, in whiskey.
Well, he's in Texas. He might have had this. He might have had it.
There's a flavoring that comes from the beaver butt, and they add beaver butt juice to certain whiskeys, and it's even in some candies and so forth. It's
of course it is.
Colostrum, and it's very floral and sweet, and
How do you know the tasting notes? You have not tasted it.
I have talked to a beaver butt sommelier since our first episode.
Oh, hey, what part of Texas is this distillery in?
Oh, this this particular one is on the East Coast, but there is a Texas distiller that is using the beaver butt.
Yeah, I thought that one was from Texas, wasn't it?
Hold on. I don't think.
What are y'all doing down there in Texas, Tom?
Dude, what is going on? This is nuts.
Well, actually, it's anal gland. That's what it is. It's actually not nuts. It's anal gland.
Yeah, the brand is called Eau de Musk.
Eau de Musk.
Yeah.
Isn't it from like Corpus Christi or something like that?
Let me confirm this here. No, they're in New Hampshire.
Okay, never mind. I take that back.
Corpus Christi, New Hampshire, same thing.
Yeah, similar. Very similar in topography. I could have sworn this came from Texas. All right, I take that back, Texas. Tough small fact about me. I was born in Texas, so you can kind of claim me.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I left Texas.
Texan at heart.
I left Texas when I was 2 for the great state of California, which is not the same state as it used to be. But what people don't realize, there's a massive Western culture in California.
There is, yeah.
A lot of cowboys in California, for sure.
So were you in Southern California?
I was actually in Northern California. So my grandfather, he had a place in Rodeo, California, just north of Eureka. And then I spent, I was in like Morgan Hill, San Jose area where my dad managed ranches and trained down there, San Martin, Central California there, Bay Area, still Northern California. Now everybody's out now. My dad's up here in Tennessee. Yeah. My mom and stepdad are in Boise. So, got it. But I mean, minus some of the crazy people, great state. But people don't realize from like I-5 east is all ag. It's very agricultural, a lot of cattle ranches, a lot of, I think Bakersfield still has one of the largest cattle ranches around down there. They still do a rodeo down there in Bakersfield?
But yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. There used to be a lot more as we all know, and now there's less. But the ones down there, everywhere in California, the fans they're sold out. It's awesome. It's keeping the tradition of the American cowboy and the spirit alive in California.
Did you rope at the Salinas
awesome.
Rodeo?
Not this past year. But I typically go. It's one of my favorite ones. But that's the big setup, and you got to have a good big horse for that one. But yeah, there's so many great ones. We're going down to Petco Park at 1st of January for the San Diego Rodeo. We're having rodeo downtown San Diego. It's awesome to see what's happening within our sport.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So are you, when Jamie connected us, so are you in the Hondo then? Are you doing the Hondo this year?
So Hondo is actually probably my favorite rodeo of the year. This is the second year that they've had it, and it is at sorry, not Nashville. It is in Phoenix, Arizona, November 7th, 8th, and 9th. 3 performances. You're going to have the top 8 guys in the world standings. It's kind of like the Pro Bowl, where you're getting just all the best top talents of the season and competing for big amounts of money. And then you have awesome concerts afterwards, 2 headliners each night. So it's a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that one. And I heard they might be growing a little bit. So, the goals just keep growing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think where do you think the sport could go? I've always said if you could put a little modernization into the rodeo. Problem is you want to keep tradition, but there's so many great athletes. I mean, I was watching. I mean, what was it, Nampa? Nampa, they broke the world record. I mean, again, I don't know how you click and raise flags that quick, but I think 3.2 seconds was the world record in the team roping in Nampa, and no one knows about these things. So, I mean, how do you think, is it more singular shows like the Hondo, where the rodeo is maybe a weekend, but it's more of an entertainment festival versus the old, 8 hours of, different events? Or do you think every event needs to be singularized like the PBR is now and like the World Series of Roping, for team roping, to where you can actually start getting more attention, more viewership, and, obviously more money for you guys, because you and the horses have to be insanely good athletes.
Yes, sir. I think the idea is less work, more money. And, especially roping, the faster times I have, the more money that I'm going to win. So essentially the less work that I'm going to do is the more money that I'm going to win. And it's a great example of that. And there's rodeos like the Hondo that understand, what our market is now and what we provide to the fan and what kind of experience that they can receive out of putting together the events like Hondo. And we still have our fairs, our local fairs, which those are some of the best ones ever. I show up to those, and those fans there, they're so thrilled that we're there just to keep the tradition alive. With all the 4-H and everything. But really, since Yellowstone and other credits due to the demand for rodeo, it's growing and growing, and
That's awesome.
We're all thankful for the people that put on the Hondo Rodeo. And, hopefully, ideally, in a perfect world, there would be a series of, 8 to 10 Hondo rodeos that I could just go compete at doing those instead of going to the 80 to 100 events that we're currently going to now. And it's going to take, producers that understand what we're also passionate about, and focusing on that and less on, the dollar signs that they're all going to be making.
So you brought up Yellowstone. Do you have a favorite cowboy or Western series?
Oh, I mean, the Cowboys with John Wayne, that's still one of the best. Tombstone, hard to beat. Yeah, I grew up on all that, not Disney.
Yeah, Tombstone. Yeah, right.
Young Guns needs to make a comeback.
Yes. That is
of course,
we
lost Val Kilmer not too long ago.
Man, iconic. But see, so remember they had Wyatt Earp and Tombstone. So were you a Kurt Russell Wyatt Earp, or a was it Costner? I think Costner played Wyatt Earp, didn't he?
I'm Kurt Russell. I don't know. What are y'all guys?
I'm probably Kurt Russell too.
Oh yeah, the Tombstone was. I mean, come on. I mean, dude,
he was great.
Samuel. What's the dude with the mustache? The old dude with the mustache.
Doc.
Sam
Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays the perfect older brother, doesn't he, Matt?
Does.
Virgil. He plays
that
the perfect
dude needs
Virgil.
to be in every Cowboy movie.
Every single one. Ever.
He's just Cowboy all the way.
And then,
he was in a show. He was in a movie, too, where he was, like, contracted to go kill Bigfoot. That was even good.
Of course it is.
I love him. He's great.
I can just watch his mustache and just be marveled. It's amazing. Because, I mean, dude, Val Kilmer, I mean, Doc Holliday, who was the greatest Doc Holliday there ever was.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that might be the most iconic role he's ever played.
Yes, sir.
And he was freaking in Top Gun.
And he was Batman.
He was Iceman.
Wasn't he Batman too? He was Batman.
I think he was.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, big fan of the movie Tombstone. We actually, no joke, I think it was like my 23rd birthday or something like that. I don't even know what birthday it was, but we went down to Tombstone because I was living in Scottsdale at the time, and we went down to Big Nose Kate's and hung out because that was his girlfriend's bar or something like that. And so each one of my friends took turns getting thrown out of Big Nose Kate's through the doors, and then we went down and fought each other at the OK Corral. It was great. It was fantastic.
Sounds like a good time. Well, Tuf, it's been a real pleasure having you on, and I got to say, I love your wardrobe here. It's a good-looking jersey you got.
Yeah, here we go, baby.
I love it.
Yes, sir. It grew up a big fan. Can't have 2 seconds to get this off my chest.
Yes.
Jared, when you were coming and playing, and how you were tying those quarterbacks up, it gave so much validation to me and through my process of my career, and how inspiring it was. It's a lot easier, to be a Western Cowboy fan now with Yellowstone and with everything that's going on, but just how much validation that I received just by watching you, do what you love. So forever grateful for that. And that's it.
Oh,
that's
man,
incredible.
I appreciate that. I guess, that's the cool thing about life, right? You never know how you're going to touch people and stuff like that. And I tell people all the time, the best thing about the Western lifestyle is the respect, right?
Yes, sir.
I think it's something. I elk hunt out in Montana, and I remember I was there during COVID, and I was asking them how they handled COVID, and it was the simple answer. It was like, what do you mean? How do we just respect? If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you want an opinion, if this person's old and elderly, we just take care of each other.
Yes,
we just take care, and that's the best part about Western culture. So I appreciate that, and I mean, I wish everybody was a cowboy. I really do, and that's my goal in life.
Likewise.
Fred's got cowboy boots because of me.
Sir.
We gotta get them roping though.
You know what? I used to do all that stuff. I'm good. I hate horses. Kicked me, bit me. You're
a real cowboy.
Yeah, I went through all that stuff, and I'm good focusing on choking people now. So.
Oh, that's great. Tuf, last question for me real quick. What sport would you have played if you weren't roping calves or rodeoing?
Well, I mean, we all grow up wanting to be professional football players and world champion bull riders. And then, that changed into my first jersey I ever put on was a Chiefs when I was a little kid playing flag football. So I'm forever a Chiefs fan. BMX, pro skates. I tried all that stuff.
Look at him.
Wasn't very good on a skateboard, but I always said I probably would have been a pro skater.
Really? Oh, dude, that is awesome. I did not see that turn coming. I feel like we just missed a whole episode right there. I feel like, oh man, Tony, you gotta be honest. Tony Hawk was inspirational.
Yes, sir.
I mean, those dudes were getting it. And I think, what's his name? Andy McDonald, I think still competes. He's like on his 75th X Games.
I love the stories of like Tony Hawk being on a plane and someone coming up to him and like, "Hey, you look like Tony Hawk." He's like, "Yeah, I get that a lot." He does. That happens all the time.
Oh yeah. Unless they say, "Are you so and so?" Just say, "Yep." Like you look like Tuf Cooper. Heard that all the time. And they just keep it. And they just keep it moving. They just keep it moving.
Oh well.
Tuf, all right. I'm gonna come down and rope with you, or have you up to rope with us.
I would love that.
But I want you to do a kickflip. I want to see a kickflip.
All right.
We got to get video of that for 4th and Neat.
Yes.
I love that. It'd be cool. Maybe that could be like a holiday party or something coming up. But details to come, everyone, on that content.
Absolutely.
But that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for this episode of Fourth and Neat. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and go follow Tuf Cooper, whatever your preferred social media is. I don't think you're on TikTok. Are you on TikTok?
Nope, not on TikTok.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to be on TikTok now? I didn't know.
I don't know if it's cool yet.
Yeah.
So.
I don't even. I don't know. I would say no. I would say no to TikTok. But you know what?
I think it's
American. I think they're all the same.
Now.
Do they actually sell it? They said they were going to. Who knows?
I don't know, man. I guess I could Google it, but at the end of the day, I don't.
There's like
I
think there's like 700 social media platforms now too.
There's a lot.
I saw one the other day. It was like Blue something.
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
Well, yeah,
that's the that was when Elon Musk bought X, and everyone who doesn't agree with Elon Musk went to Blue Sky. So
isn't that like the antithesis of what the First Amendment was about? Being able to communicate to each other.
Well, the First Amendment is technically about the government not shutting you down.
Correct.
These are all digital platforms that are privately owned.
True, I guess, but everybody only wants to hear their opinion. It's like, oh, I don't agree with X. I'm going to go to this one, or I'm going to go to this one. Like, whatever happened to just communicating, people?
Yeah.
No, it is. People's skin don't have thick enough skin. Everybody
it is?
Everybody wants to talk trash, but the minute you talk trash or someone talks trash back to you, everybody gets their feelings hurt.
Yeah,
they can dish it, but they can't take it. That's what's wrong with this world. Tough. We need more tough men out there, more cowboys.
That's right, baby.
Yeah. The thing is that we can no longer punch people in the face. Square off in the parking lot, things like that. So
I agree. There's no physical consequences anymore.
As always, Jared wants to solve everything with violence.
No. But I'm just
I think
saying,
it's okay though. It's okay to admit that.
I actually am not a violent person.
I know you're,
but
no one wants to attack you.
Sometimes that's just where it's at, right? Sometimes there's a line that gets drawn, and in the words of Ike. So we got to get a rap on the beezer to get a little respect around here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Your old Tombstone. A lot of life lessons can be worse than Tombstone.
Well, everyone go watch Tombstone and tell us if you agree with Jared. Go follow Tuf Cooper. Check out his stuff. World champion. I'm going to miss you this year at the NFR. We'll get him next year. But that's going to do it for this episode of Fourth and Neat. Be safe out there, everybody. Cheers.